Hey, ladies and gentlemen, a very, very warm welcome to you to the Nishkar Sharma Show. This is episode number 40, and today we have with us the founder of ROI Minds, Mr. Sandeep Kumar. Sandeep, before we talk about anything else, Sandeep, brother, a very, very warm welcome to you. Thank you so much for being here. How are you doing?
Thank you, Niskas. Thank you very much for inviting me on your show. I'm doing very well, and it's always good to see your pretty face, always smiling and helping people, to get to their dreams. So I'm very lucky. I feel very good,
Interesting.
when I talk with you and when I talk with your ideas, the values you bring to the
Yeah,
table.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. It's always a pleasure communicating with you. In fact, an interesting thing is, I've worked with Sandeep before. We're working on a new project right now as well. So it's always good to be working with you guys. So now, one thing that I want to share about Sandeep with you, and there's a lot, but yeah, let me just share it with you. So Sandeep runs and his agency called ROI Minds. ROI Minds, they're e-commerce specialists, especially when it comes to Google Ads. Sandeep and his team at ROI Minds have done more than $150 million in sales for all their clients. And most of that has come through Google advertising. So these, ROI Minds, they are experts at this subject at Google advertising. And I got to know about Sandeep through a friend of mine almost a year back. I was talking to him about that. Someone who's good at Google. He shared Sandeep's name with me. I did some research and stalked him on Facebook, became a part of his group, then got on a call with his team, then got in touch with Sandeep, started working together. And after that, it's just been so nice seeing the kind of results that you guys are getting, that Sandeep and his team have been getting. So Sandeep, you tell me, like, first of all, like, what's your story? Where do you come from? Where are you from? And what made you start in the world of Google Ads and e-commerce?
Yeah, definitely. So, like as it's like a lot of audience we have is the Indian audience. So I will be, speaking in some Hindi and English. I think that will be okay as well.
Yes,
So
absolutely,
the
Hanji.
story is very similar, like as all Indians we have when we start, in education. Like I passed in 2019, sorry 2009. So at that time, internet e-commerce it was like there, but not that popular. It was more C C plus plus techie game, when you had you had to be programmer or you had to be a
Hmm.
computer engineer who's in the hardcore. So I always had this interest in the programming. I was very good into logics and math and logics were very, like, I was best at them. So after my college I was looking for a job, and we know that it's not always, go as per the plan, and I didn't get a job for 2 years. So I got to know about this thing called SEO. At
Yeah.
that time I was like, I didn't know anything about SEO, I didn't know anything about internet marketing or e-commerce or whatever it is, but then someone told me, okay, there's a thing SEO. You have to do optimization of the of the websites. You have to do, make them search engine friendly, and have to build up some backlinks, and you can get a job and you can start. So that thing interested me, and I started my career with it. So when I started actually my career with SEO, I got myself immersed into digital marketing, and I read all the guidelines of Google. Being, I read why the Google exists, what they want, why they rank the website like they rank. Then I got to know about PPC. I immersed myself into the PPC. So I did like SEO for 1 year almost. After that, I started into the PPC with the
Hmm.
different companies I was working there, like as a in my career. So I got to work. That's how I get a chance to work on the different type of businesses. I worked with lead generation, with the lead e-commerce businesses. So it was a very foreign topic for us. Like before, like
Hmm.
Flipkart, when Flipkart started.
Hmm.
So I'm into this industry when the even before the Flipkart started. So it was a very foreign concept for the Indians to buy the things online. Can now right now it's very popular, but at that time it was not. But when we used to market the websites online, and so I also used to think कि क्या यार लोग सच में online buy करते हैं. I mean they really
Hmm.
pay like thousands of dollar
Hmm.
to buy a single
Hmm.
thing. And I still remember, like, one of my senior, or one of
Hmm.
the actually one of the person who had very good experience. He told me, in foreign countries people even buy the toothpaste and the toothbrush online. So I
Hmm.
was very amazed by that thing, and I did my research, and I actually found out that the the digital stuff is like growing and increasing. And then I immersed myself more into it. I learned a lot about it. I attended a lot of events, webinars, conferences like Affiliate World Conference in Bangkok or in Singapore. I am member of various masterminds like Adlix Platinum is there. There are some other the mastermind groups where the industry leaders are there and they discuss the strategies, the moving forward stuff. So that is what made me interest into it. And over the time, I left my job in 2017 with the vision, because what I also felt that a lot of people are actually not doing the things properly. Marketing is not
Mm,
about some technical thing. It's not about it's
mm,
a technical, but it's not all technical. You cannot say
mm.
if you are a computer engineer you can do the marketing. So it includes the logic, plus it also includes the analysis. It includes the
Correct.
understanding the requirement of your audience, like basically
Mm,
what value you bring to the marketplace. That is what
mm,
marketing is all about. That is what basically
mm.
business about. And marketing is portraying that message in the right way to the right people. So with
Mm.
time we learn that e-commerce thing is happening. And since corona, like you have mentioned, 150 million. So right now I just checked the numbers today, we crossed over 200 millions in the sales for our clients. So that is with the Google ads alone, excluding the Facebook
Mm.
ads. And
Mm.
Google recently made the changes in their partnership program. We crashed, we cleared that thing in I think 1 week, and we were eligible for that. So we are handling right now more than 2 to 300 e-commerce clients, working with their e-commerce stores. The most important thing, why I love Google and the e-commerce, because the quality of traffic is way higher than the Facebook, because you can specifically tap to the people who has interest or who are looking for these things, instead of I have to guess or see or depend on the Facebook algorithms. That well, Facebook has its own way of doing the things, but if I speak about Google, it's a different search engine and a different traffic and different audience. That's why maybe sometimes we have seen the higher conversion rates, the higher ROS on the Google side than the Facebook.
Okay, yeah, like that was supposed to be my next question.
Yeah,
But yeah, before that, that's actually so nice. The story that you've shared. I remember those days, back on those days when SEO was trending,
yeah,
and everyone was doing SEO. It used to be way simpler back then, and
exactly.
e-commerce was so new. Flipkart and Snapdeal were the only brands we knew about. Then Amazon, there was news that Amazon is going to take over, and Amazon
Yeah,
investing billions of dollars here, and now
exactly.
Amazon is pretty much leading, right? So yeah, I can relate to that. So how is Google all over different from Facebook? You mentioned it's different, but what are the major differences that you see in this platform? Because I'm sure most people listening to this right now are either running Facebook ads successfully, or the other side of the people are really struggling with it right now. Ad account bans and all of that stuff. So how's Google different from
So
traditional Facebook
definitely,
marketing?
definitely, it's a very good question, and this is the question actually asked, being like very often asked the question. So here is
Mm,
the very
mm,
basic and very common thing that we have to understand. There's a Google is a different platform and Facebook is a different platform. Now Google has immersed itself into more into the interest, lookalikes, custom audiences,
mm,
but that's I
mm,
would say very unsuccessful venture of the Google so far, because Google traffic is the intent based traffic. When we search
mm,
Google, we actually have an intent. Either we are looking for information, or we are having intent of buying it, or we are in a stage when we want to buy. We have a problem, we want a solution. Maybe we don't want to buy it, but we have a problem. And sometimes
mm,
we generally divide it into the three parts: cold, warm, and hot. So cold is someone like they don't, or you can say the people in the awareness stage, like awareness, consideration, and the buying intent. So that is also can be divided. So the people who know, so the people who doesn't know about problem, they doesn't know about solution, so they can come into
mm,
the cold. And the people who know about problem but they don't know about
mm,
the solution, and then
mm.
there are the people who knows about the problem, they also knows about the solution, but they don't know where to get it. For example,
Got
I
it.
know I need a Nike shoes. I know, like I do running, so I need Nike running shoes. Now I have a problem. I need better shoes. I know the solution. I need Nike shoes and the running jogging shoes. And now the question is, where will I buy them? Should I buy them directly from the Nike or the Amazon or the Flipkart or Snapdeal, or or some other vendor? So what, whoever is going to give me the best offer, I'm going to get them. So
Got
that's
it.
where the Google comes in. So if we understand this concept, if the business, like for example any business who is online,
Mm,
if they understand this concept, that what is their customer or what their product is solving,
Hmm.
and at what
Hmm.
stage they can tap, they can use the channels accordingly. So the difference,
Hmm.
the biggest difference between Facebook and Google is the difference between the traffic. Like the one is the intent based traffic and second is the interest based traffic. Facebook is interest based traffic, where you see the ads on the Facebook feed, you saw the, like the ad is so good that it has stopped you and you made a decision and bought it. Or you are now, after iOS 14 update, earlier it was retargeting, a lot
Hmm.
of sales were coming from retargeting. Now it
Correct.
has become difficult to retarget the people or
Hmm.
to actually
Hmm.
get those numbers which we used to get. So in that
Hmm.
case, it's, we still believe on the interest and the lookalikes and the behaviors, but we don't know how accurate are they and how good are they,
Correct.
because we have seen that in the masterminds and in the agency groups that we are, that people are struggling after iOS 14 to get the profitable
Yep.
returns and the scaling it up.
Hmm.
But on the other side, we have seen with Google, the things are going like good. Things have improved,
Hmm.
and a lot of brands have moved to Google from Facebook
Hmm.
because they know that their advertising is there. But due to the not a proper tracking system, not to knowing the actual number, maybe sometimes they are getting the sales from Facebook, but it's not getting attributed. So that actually manipulates their results and everything. So there are some
Hmm.
limitations in the Facebook side. But yeah, if I say, if you have a product or a business, someone have a low ticket product, let's say 20, 25, 30 or 40 or 50, it can work
Hmm.
very well with the Facebook because it's the intent based, interest based, sorry. You can,
Hmm.
if you can get someone attention, you can sell it. But on the other side, if you have a high ticket product, 100, 200, 300, when people need to make
Hmm.
research, then Google is the best thing to go for because they will be researching about it. They will be doing the careful, comparison between competitors and understanding, maybe taking some time, and we can retarget them to the display ads and the YouTube ads as well.
Got it. So, do you mean that Google is recommended only for products that are like high priced, or products that are, I mean, products that are not that much, like products in the 20, 30, $40 range?
So
Do you think
not
Google is a
not
good
20,
platform for that?
yeah, not 2030, but like products like which are less than $20, there is also one limitation of the Google traffic is expensive. Search specifically,
Right.
not the shopping ads, but the search. So search ads are expensive. Even if you get 4-5% conversion rate, you still will not be profitable. So the math should be there. It's all about how affordable the traffic. If the traffic is not expensive, like if you're getting click less than $1 or 40 cent or 50 cent, then you can even advertise a $10 product or $15 product. But if your traffic is like coming $2 or $3 CPC, then it doesn't make sense to
Mhm.
advertise even $30 product.
Right. So you mentioned that search is expensive, but shopping isn't that. So I mean, how is search and shopping ads different? I
Definitely. So
mean, shopping ads show up and people search for it, right? Like, or
exactly.
like,
So let
we
me
clear
give
that
you
out.
the basic details about Google. So basically, Google on
Yeah.
Facebook, we know on Facebook we have multiple campaign types, but the
Hmm.
platform is same. You can run the
Hmm.
same type of ads in each type of objectives. On Google,
Correct.
the thing is different. You have to use the different campaign types, and in each campaign types will have the different ads. They will be
Hmm.
available. For example, there is search ads. On search ads, you have the control which keywords you want
Hmm.
to show your ads and what ads you want to show specifically. What will be headline? What will be description? What will be site links? What
Right.
specifically you want to mention? For example, like I gave the example of Nike shoes. So if I want to buy Nike shoes and I am a retailer who has a Nike product,
Hmm.
so I will type Nike shoes as my target keyword because I know the people who's looking for it is interested into it, and I want to get as much as traffic available there. So that with
Hmm.
that control I have. If someone like if 1,000 people are searching for it in a month, then I will make sure that I get 900. And out of
Hmm.
900, how much I convert, that's a different thing to discuss, like on the product price, on the
Hmm.
website
Hmm.
conversion.
Hmm.
But still, I get 900 very relevant people to my website with a search campaign. I have that control. I can put my budget, my bids accordingly. I can show my ad on the top, and I have all that control. With Google Shopping ads, with search ads, you cannot show the product image. You can
Hmm.
add the price in the headlines and description, but you cannot
Hmm.
show the product image and the reviews and the offers. With the Google Shopping ads, on the other hand, you can show the product image, price, and the ratings, the reviews, any offer you have as well. Like when we
Hmm.
search on the Google, so Amazon के results आ जाते हैं, and some other
Hmm.
websites also come up with the results for different
Right.
vendors show their products. So that is the Google Shopping ads where you can actually see the image, the price, the reviews, so you can compare different vendors at the same spot, and you can make your decision. And even when further you click on it, you still open the shopping Google Shopping program, where you can see the different things. So that is these are the type of difference between the search and shopping. Search are expensive because that is very intent based, like very controlled.
Okay.
You can specific very specific keywords. Google Shopping ads are not that expensive. You can get clicks, like right now the average benchmark industry price is 0.4 cent or 5 cent, but it vary from industry to industry. If the industry is competitive, it can be higher, but if the industry is not competitive, then it even it's lower. But point 0.4, 0.40 cent, 0.50 cent is whatever is something average, we can figure it out. And there you don't have control of the search terms.
Hmm.
So for example, if I have the same shoes and I am running the Nike, the Google Shopping ads, it is very much possible that my product also get visible for the shoes only and for the Nike keyword only. So then I don't know if someone is like searching Nike. I don't know they are looking for shoes or they are looking for just images or logos or maybe
Hmm.
something else. So
Okay.
in that case, my audience behavior or intent, I don't know. So that's why the spend or traffic is less expensive there, because it is not that intended. But you can
Makes
optimize
sense.
that thing, we will discuss that. And how to get the best intent traffic for the Google Shopping campaigns also.
That that makes sense. So yeah, that's pretty good. Now, when it comes to let's say someone owns a brand, let's say someone owns a t-shirt brand, let's say, and let's say someone's selling a $20-$25 t-shirt or a $20-$30-$40 hoodie. What process and what process would you follow for a brand like that to market their brand on Google? So what process? How would you approach that?
So yeah, definitely, it's a very good question actually. So before
Mm-hmm.
marketing on Google, I would I will see what is the audience of that T-shirt brand. Like who are the people who are going to buy it? Is it like normal T-shirt, like summer T-shirts, like summers are there and
Yeah.
they want to sell the summer
Mm-hmm.
T-shirts, or is it specific to the a club or specific to a community? Let's say
Correct.
the Father's Day present or Mother's Day gift or brother sister or some Valentine stuff, so or it's some patriotic stuff or it's some related to pet, or like there are multiple things you can make the t-shirt
Mm-hmm.
from. You have to basically make a niche. T-shirt is a niche, and what is your sub niche? What is
Mm-hmm.
the sub niche into that niche? Is it like let's say it's a summer collection, so it's a t-shirt for the summer use. So then we will be targeting the keywords which are uh, around that audience, like t-shirts for summers, t-shirts under $20, t-shirts under $30, $30 t-shirts, t-shirts for beach, t-shirts for vacations, so these type of I'm sorry, these type of
Mm-hmm.
terms have to be identified. We will go and do the research, like the ones who do the research about it, and then use those specific terms into the products and into the website. So the most important thing is making very clear with your target audience.
Okay, that got it. But for like products that are like $20-$30 ranges, let's say a simple T-shirt, right? Do you recommend Google Ads for businesses like these, keeping in mind that the margins
So we
are not
can,
that much? Google Ads are expensive. Yeah.
in that case, I don't recommend the Google search ads, but I do recommend the Google Shopping ads, because Google Shopping ads
Got that.
mostly show the product price, and if it's a $20, $30, that means you can beat your competitors and you can get the attention, and it's not that expensive as well. So you can test it there, and you can know how it's going and how it's working, and it will definitely work.
Okay. Okay. Makes sense. Yeah, you've been doing this for a long time, and I know that
Yeah.
I've been through your portfolio. So I think you've done a lot of Google Ads for print on demand businesses
Print
as
on
well, right?
demand. Yes, we are currently working with many big print or POD stores as well. Like they are very good into the USA. They are spending approx 50K per month on Google Ads alone.
That's nice. That's pretty good. So, okay, now one thing is clear that Google shopping ads and search ads show up when someone's searching for them. Now, on the level of scaling, doesn't this mean that, let's say that my search term is, let's say I'm selling t-shirts or a product that are about father t-shirts, let's say. So, in terms of searches, we're always going to have limited searches every single month, right? So how would you scale that thing up? how does scaling work with Google advertising when the number of searches are limited for that particular keyword or for that particular niche? How do you guys manage to do that?
Right. So in that case, one beauty of the POD business is you can make the designs, like whatever
Hmm.
design you want to make with the same product.
Yeah, yeah.
If we are selling
Hmm.
the Father's Day T-shirts, which is like event based, it will be exhausting at a time. So then we can
Hmm.
also make the T-shirt for the Mother's Day or some other events, like the 4th July is coming, so we can make it,
Correct.
patriotic day. So in that case,
Hmm.
you can find the events if it's an
Hmm.
event-oriented store you have, and
Hmm.
can start building up the products for them and start adding them. So you have the designs and the products available to scale, because it's not, if I say just scaling the Father's Day, that's not possible. It's a limited thing. But
Yeah.
scaling the
Yeah.
10 multiple events is possible, because it's about what people are looking or searching.
Got it, got it. So what you're going to do is you're going to move on to neighboring niches. Let's say,
Yes.
we do that with Facebook as well.
Yeah.
That TK Mother's Wala thing has worked for you. Let's say there's a T-shirt for a mother gifting to a son. Then
Yes.
you could also have a T-shirt that a dad is gifting to a son or a son is
Yes.
gifting to a mother,
Yeah.
so on and so forth. Excuse
Oh,
me, I got it, got it.
exactly.
Now, and when it comes to YouTube advertising, I mean, is that something that's done as a part of the process as well? I mean, did you guys do YouTube as well?
Yeah, we do the YouTube, but YouTube is a bit tricky, and I recommend YouTube ads only to the businesses, who have higher order value, or who has very good creatives, like the video creatives, where, because YouTube doesn't give you sales directly. It will not be search or shopping or Facebook. It will, the ROS will be lower there. The
Hmm.
the
Hmm.
conversion will be higher. So if
Hmm. Hmm.
we are working with a brand, it's not a
Hmm.
POD brand, but it's in the furniture niche. But they have a product. They have a product like it's a $300 product. So
Hmm.
that product we are scaling with the YouTube ads, because people who are looking for that specific furniture, we are targeting them on YouTube. And from their YouTube, they don't buy from there, but they come on Google, they search about it, and
Hmm.
they buy. Similarly, we
Got
had an
that.
experience with an auto brand, like it was an auto
Hmm.
cleaning product. So we were targeting all auto cleaning related videos on the YouTube, keywords based, competitor based, YouTube channel based. So we were spending like
Hmm.
$10,000 only on the YouTube ads for the
Hmm.
branding purpose. And what
Hmm.
made
Hmm.
it was that we those YouTube videos made those YouTube
Hmm.
ads made the brand. So they
Hmm.
like they had only 500 search volumes when we started doing the YouTube,
Okay.
and after six
Yeah.
months, we had 20,000 search volumes per month because of the
You
YouTube.
mean for that brand? I mean for that brand
For
name.
the
That's what you
brand
mean.
name, yes, from the
That's
ad.
nice.
So
That's very nice.
yeah, so in the brand awareness and in the longer product average CPA, YouTube ads works, and it needs very good quality video also.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. It's all about videos.
Yeah.
So, okay, that's all cool. Now, when it comes to the financial part of it, what kind of budgets do you recommend? How do the budgets work? Because let's say someone's just starting out, or someone's still building in. Let's say someone's a little bit profitable, or still investing money with Facebook ads or in the business. What kind of budgets would you recommend them
So
for their Google advertising?
I
Yeah.
believe we are targeting the US market here. We are talking all about US
Yes.
market.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
US is the most competitive market in the world, and because apart from US, every other person from the
Mm-hmm.
world is targeting the US market. So
Hmm.
due to that, it's a very competitive market, and we have to keep a slightly better budget than the others. Normally, people
Hmm.
suggest to do go with $20 or $30 a day. We can start
Yeah.
with, but it will not be that good. At least
Hmm.
$100 a day should be the budget that can
Hmm.
give you the quantitative data which you can analyze at the end of the day to take decisions,
Hmm.
because it's all about the data reading, the analyzing.
Hmm.
Let's say you have
Hmm.
1,000 products on your store. You
Hmm.
cannot advertise 1,000 products with $10 budget. So you have to
Yeah.
go with, if you have a budget of $100 and you
Hmm.
advertising 1,000 products, so Google Shopping,
Hmm.
with the Google Shopping, I'm assuming Google Shopping. So you
Hmm.
can
Hmm.
get
Hmm.
certain impression and clicks on certain products, and you will be able to figure out are those products converting or not. And by getting some number of clicks, like 10 clicks or 15 clicks or $5 or $10 of ad spend, you will be able to
Hmm.
judge are they going to work or not, and you can stop them and test others. So that is the way you have to optimize. You have to keep killing the things which are not working and keep working on the things which are working. Now, there are multiple things when it comes to the killing and keeping it enabling. It's not just sales. You also have to check the what is the CTR, what is the bounce
Yeah.
rate, what is the CPC, and what,
Hmm.
is there any add to cart, is there any initial checkout, and what is
Hmm.
the the quality of the search term. Sorry,
Correct.
what people are searching. I'm
Hmm.
sorry, is that related to the product or not? If it's related,
Yeah.
CTR is good, CPC is good, bounce rate is good, and but still no convergence, I think that product is qualified product, and you can keep advertising it and giving it more budget, and it will eventually convert into sales. So right now we are working with one of the jewelry store. So it's a
Nice.
funny story. We started with it like with the Google Shopping ads, and for 1 month
Hmm.
we had all in the first month we had only 5 sales. In the
Okay.
second month, like we optimized the product titles, website. In the second month, we had 15 sales, and in the
Hmm.
third month, it's only 10 days, and we already had more
Hmm.
than 30 sales, and the account is in
Okay.
profits now. So sometimes
Hmm.
Google, because it's not that it will turn automatically. It actually takes time. You have to eliminate the things which are not working. You have to keep working on the things which are proven like they have potential and have to improve them.
So things with Google, they take time. So optimization takes time, right?
Yeah, right. Google is different than Facebook. On Facebook, you can
Hmm.
see the Facebook algorithm, how it works. It shows the best audience. Like you selected the 10 interest. You have a 1 million audience to
Hmm.
target, 2 million audience to
Hmm.
target. Facebook will go to the
Hmm.
best audience bracket, the audience which are
Hmm.
more prone to your conversion objective, and they will give you the
Hmm.
best returns from that. So sometimes when people come to us, they say we had a $30 a day budget, but when we scale $50, we our ROS
Yeah.
drop. Actually, because
Yes. Yes.
Facebook made your net wide. That's why your
Hmm.
ROS got dip. On
Hmm.
Google, things are different. Now you are not. They are not making your net wide. In fact, they are
Yeah.
sending. Here we are validating the products. They are sending the
Correct.
same intent type of traffic. And the
Hmm.
more the more potential products we have, the more potential traffic we have, the better results we can have.
That's beautiful. That's pretty good. So now this brings me to a very important question. You've worked with, you mentioned 200, 300 clients, right? And you've done more than $200 million in e-commerce sales for your clients as well. So in all your, experience with working with so many e-commerce brands, what do you think separates your clients, or let's say the biggest brands that you work with, from the ones that are not that successful? So what are those top things? What is the mindset that your best clients or the best brands operate under? How do they approach their business, in your opinion, that make them so successful?
Yeah, this is actually a very very good question, because I believe before even getting profits or setting up the
Hmm.
campaigns or Google, deciding between Google or Facebook,
Yeah.
the most important
Hmm.
thing is what is the mindset of the brand owner, or what is the mindset of that business. Are they just to make
Correct.
money, or are they there to make
Hmm.
their branding, to to help their
Hmm.
audience, to help their people? So one thing
Hmm.
that we have found, the people who are more successful, they are not the one who wants short term gains. Like we want to
Hmm.
try these products out. We have $10,000 to test. Let's test it out.
Hmm.
We can scale the
Hmm.
budget once we have money, once we have profits. Definitely, everyone can scale that. But the thing is, do you have the patience? Do you have the time which you can you understand your audience requirements? Can you, and the one more important thing is, people love their products, which is very good thing.
Hmm.
But what
Hmm.
is the use of loving their products if your customers are not loving it? So
Correct.
that's important that you test your products. Test
Hmm.
your products frequently and understand which are the potential products, and then focus on them, and take the decisions based on the data and the intelligence instead of the opinions. So most people, they don't see the other metrics than conversions. Or sometimes
Hmm. Hmm.
when the conversions are happening, maybe it's break even or slightly
Hmm.
up. So we have a store that we are working with from last 3 4 years now. It's a retailer store. They
Hmm.
sell like sports merchandise, helmets,
Okay.
shoes, Adidas shoes, t-shirt, all this stuff. It's a
Hmm.
physical
Hmm.
store
Hmm.
in the California.
Hmm.
So their requirement of ROS is very high. Like they need at least 4x ROS, because their margin of profit is very
Yeah.
high.
Yeah.
But
Hmm.
they have inventory of more than 20,000 products. So when we
Nice.
started working with them, we had all these challenges. Whenever the ROS was down, they used to say our ROS is down, our ROS is down, we are
Hmm.
not profitable. So then we discussed and we understood what is actually they want, and they described that it is actual their actual business, and they want their community and people to work on
Hmm.
it. You wouldn't believe, for the first 3 4 months the ROS was negative as per their expectations and as per their profits, but they kept it on. They kept putting money, they kept finding the product, they kept eliminating the bad things and optimizing it, and after that we start seeing the growth, and now we are getting 7 to 8x ROS from that account alone. And they're
That's
very
awesome.
big profits, like they're spending 20 30,000 dollars a month and getting like more than
Hmm.
100K a month from the Google ads alone, with the shopping ads primarily the focus. Because we
That's
it's not,
beautiful.
yeah, it's not just the money or the campaign, it's also the mindset. You have to the pace, you have to be the patience, you have to ask the right question, you have to understand your audience, you have to understand their feedback, the feedback on the products, and your back end operations, which is very important. So backend, having the backend operations is also very important. What type of customer support do you have? Do you know you have a community of your customers? Sometimes people, they just sell products and then they don't take care about their customers. So the community of customers actually help to build up a brand. Yeah, so working on the brand proposition, working on the branding side, or having idea of building a brand in the future is actually is a mindset that help people to win.
Great. So yeah, you mean thinking the long term, seeing the
Yeah,
long term game and treating your brand as a brand and not
as a
just
brand.
as a business. That's
Exactly.
awesome. That's pretty
Exactly.
good. Great. The last podcast that we did, Aman shared something similar, that build a brand, don't just run a business. So I think that's exactly what you mean as well. And that makes so much sense. So Sandeep, I think it's been pretty insightful. You've just dropped value bombs all over. Now, of course, there are technical sides of it, that how do we set up the campaigns technically. All of that is the easy part. But what's important is to understand how this works, if this
Yeah.
is for a brand or not, and the kind of mindset that you should keep.
Yeah.
So, thank you so much, Sandeep, for being on the episode. I'm sure people are going to love it, because I think Google Ads, it is the future, and I know a lot of people are killing it in the
Right.
game, and we've waited to board the Google bandwagon
Yeah.
ourselves for a long time. So now what I'm going to do is, below this podcast in the description, I'm going to add links to you guys. If someone wants to get in touch with you guys and maybe work with you guys or ask for help, I'm going to add the link below in the description.
Definitely.
And that's it, Sandeep. Thank you so much for being here. If there's anything that you want to add, if there's one advice that you want to give to people listening to this, assuming that all of these guys are mostly starting out the businesses, or mildly profitable,
Yeah.
or let's say, and all of these guys are in e-commerce, what is that one advice that you'd like to give to everybody listening to you right
So
now?
one advice that I would love to give is like invest in your business. Everyone say like they invest money. That is just one minor part. But investing the right, mindset. Investing, for example, if when you are building up a website, so make sure that your products are validated. Your product pages, titles, description, your product page are good enough, and don't just
Hmm.
rely, on the traffic source, but rely on your customers. Understand your audience. That is the most important part. If you clearly understand who's your audience and what they need, you will be able to sell it on Google or Facebook or wherever you want to sell it. So
Awesome.
offer,
That's pretty nice.
audience and offer is the best thing to identify and to go for when you build up a business or build up a brand and solve an actual problem. That solves an actual
Dope.
problem. So I would love to share one small
Hmm.
story. So we have a
Hmm.
client, POD client, and he actually started doing this thing POD. So he was
Hmm.
like once I was in discussion with him, and I asked him the same
Hmm.
question: why did you start this brand, and what kept you motivated? So he told me a story that one day I made an order online, and I got a guy who came to deliver my product at my door. And when I opened my door, I saw that he was wearing my hat, the hat that he sell online. And when I asked that guy why he's wearing that hat, so the guy said that I like it, I really like it, and I wear it every day, and it helps me to keep doing what I'm doing. So sometimes you don't know actually how in what ways you can help others. So just believe in your idea, believe in your vision, and keep doing it, and things will come around.
That's so inspiring. That's so
Yeah,
good. Thanks for sharing that, Sandeep. It's been a pleasure to have you on the show. So once it goes live, I'm definitely going to share it with you, and I'm sure everyone's going to love it. I'm going to add, the required links there in the description. So
definitely.
that's it, brother.
Thank you, Mr. Thank you very much for having me here. Yeah, take care. Bye bye. Bye bye, everyone.